Well, hello there, and welcome to the channel. And in this video we're going to be talking about the pests that you're going to be getting in your garden this May. The weather's warmed up, it's been very wet, the new plants have been emerging with this lovely delicious lush growth, and as such there are plenty of wee beasties that are going to be snacking on them. So what we're going to do in this video is point out the ones you need to be aware of, what they're eating and what you can do about it. So let's crack on before we've got nothing left. Whoa, that wind's picking up. So if you've been watching some of our earlier videos, you'll know we've had a really big problem this year with the slugs and snails. And the reason why it's been a big problem, partly because it's been so warm, partly because it's been so wet, so it's ideal conditions for them to breed in, but partly because we've got this flipping field over here where they all congregate and then just like overnight wander in. Cows. One of the biggest hits we've had is on these lovely red dot pokers. This is Nyphophila coalescens, one of my favourites, one of the biggest of the early flowering one. But do you know what? You can't see so much of the damage now, but they've been taking out the tops, taking out the sides, and making an absolute mess of these leaves. You see a little bit of damage on that Xanthodecia over there. There's a flipping snail already on it. Can you see that? Bloody hell. You know, and that's despite having the old slug pubs, despite having the crappy old modern day slug pellets we have, and despite me coming out once, twice every night to remove and dispose of them. And if Lorna had her way, they'd be put in a bag, driven up the road 2 miles, and then released back into the wild. What a waste of flipping time. So what can you do? Well, we mentioned the slug pubs. They work to a point. They do work very well at the beginning of the season, then after a while they tend to be less effective. Might be worth changing your beer, whoever's making whatever manufacturer of beer, having a little change around that. Slug pellets, again, pretty much next to useless. It is possible that you could consider using an organic method of control by using nematodes. There is a fairly effective way, but there's a certain amount of work that goes into it. It's only viable for a couple of weeks. You've got to buy it, you've got to use it within 2 weeks. During that 2 week period, you've got to have it in the fridge so it's kept cool, and then you've got to mix it out. You've got to mix it up in one container, and then you remix that into another container. Then you've got to apply it when the ground is wet, and you've got to reapply it. You've got to keep the ground wet. So it is an absolute faff. But do you know what? I've had such a problem this year. I might even actually put that work in next spring, because we've had some serious damage on some of these plants here, and to the point where some of it just isn't going to do anything. So that's another year wasted. So for like a couple of weeks of work, I can get my plants looking good again. Oh, and one more thing, we're going to try this new thing. Let's check this out. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some sacrificial lettuce in that plate. I'm going to leave it in the borders overnight. And what should happen is that the slugs should come along, want to eat this. Oh, that's a bit old now. Want to eat this, eat it, so they'll all be around here. Stick that plate on it, and in the morning I should find them underneath here, which means I don't need to go looking for them. It means I'll know exactly where they are, and I can deal with them as I see fit. But just one more thing before I go: don't tell Lorna I'm using her best plates. I could be in so much trouble. Well, isn't that absolutely perfect? Anyway, let's go and see how well the sacrificial lettuce have done. Oh, there you go, there's one, the cheeky little monkey. Well, I know where you are now. Alright, then my second pest warning is right over there. Let's take a closer look. Alright, so these are the common Buxus sempervirens, and you see all this like top growth of leaves, or leaves like hollowed out, and it's just this horrible damage which if left, oh, that's worse on that one, look at that. Oh no, it's getting really bad there. Well, you probably know what this is. This is box caterpillar moth, and there really isn't much that you can do about this rather than try and pick it out and throw them away. Let's see if we can find something on there that's still alive. There you go. There you go. Can you see that? Can you see that? Right, okay. Well, okay, this is how you organically control it. Now flip off. Back in my chair. So it is nigh on impossible to manage your box caterpillar moth, and the reason for that is this: there are no insecticides that even though they may say or show pictures of caterpillars on them, they're not going to touch this this pest. It really isn't going to do it. All you can really do is pick them off. The birds aren't really taking it, although there is some anecdotal evidence that some birds may be taking some plants up there in that there London. Now I know you're going to say, "Ooh, but what about what's that product called? Bacillus thuringiensis." It took a bit of time for the old brain to work. Bacillus thuringiensis, it is a bacteria. You mix it with water, you spray it onto your box plants, the caterpillar ingests it, and that bacteria gets into the stomach and produces toxic crystals in there and kills off the caterpillar. So, that sounds good. That sounds like a biological control, safe for everything else. But the problem is, it does not have a license for use here in the UK. So it is illegal to buy it. It is illegal to use it. So it's down to you whether you want to do it. It's called Xantari, but certainly don't be caught using it, and don't use it. I ain't saying nothing else. My third pest warning, and it's one that everyone knows about this, and that is aphids. Aphids can be green fly, white fly, black fly. A lot of these pests are, either wingless or otherwise. They should be taken out quite easily by modern day insecticides. There are some issues with whitefly where you have had a build-up of pesticide resistance over the years, because it is a very common greenhouse crop. So it's been hanging around for like 70 years while it builds up its resistance to pretty much everything. But at the moment there are some good products available on the market which you can use, but you want to start using it now. You want to start spraying them when you see them, otherwise those infestations will get absolutely massive and will suck all the life out of your plants. Anyway, there's one more to go, and it's this one. Hold on a minute. I've got something important to say. If you've enjoyed this video or just find some of the information in it useful to you, then consider clicking on the like button. That way it makes it a lot easier for YouTube to find other people who want to find that information. Anyway, no further ado, let's continue finding out what old Boyle Butt has to say. Now this last one is vine weevil. Now this just used to be a pest in container grown plant, but it got shipped over from Europe, landed in the UK. Now it's absolutely everywhere. Will not be killed off over the winter, and doesn't just eat vines, although it does like to eat the roots of vines. Problem with it is this, or it's twofold. The adult eats the leaves, leaves characteristic irregular notching on the edges of leaves. You can spot it a mile away. It's pretty bad. It doesn't kill the plant though. I'll tell you what it does. Its larvae are in the soil. No one knows they're in there. The birds don't know they're in there. So they just get left and they eat the roots, and they grow bigger and they eat even more roots, and you have enough of these larvae in your root system of your particular plant, and eventually it will eat the whole lot and the plant will die. It will just fall over, lose purchase, Used to be a big problem in pot grown plants. You used to see it all the time, especially in the garden centres, but now you see it out in the wild of the UK, not just in suburbia. So it is everywhere. What can you do about it? Well, you can, if you see the adults, you can pick them off and dispose of them as you will. But to get the larvae, you're going to have to apply an insecticide. Now, imidacloprid was a product that used to be used for the pot grown plants. But quite often you can get away, as long as you get like a decent insecticide, one that, not organic, but one that actually stays within the plant for 2 weeks or so, then there's an opportunity for the insecticide to get into the root system, and then for the larvae to eat those roots, then ingest the insecticide and kill it off. So apart from the aphids, which tend to be dealt with quite easily, a lot of these pests are becoming very, very difficult to deal with. There's certainly organic options, there's certainly chemical options, but be very careful. Don't spray plants when they're in flower, and don't spray plants within. Well, you need to check the harvest interval of your insecticide. Majority of insecticides, it will always say on the back, it'll give you a harvest period, it will say this chemical. Flipping heck, I nearly died. Anyway, you need to know about the harvest interval. It's very important. The harvest interval is the time that it takes for the active insecticide within the plant to dissipate, so that it's no longer working, it is then benign. So you need to, so knowing that time, and quite often it's a week, 2 weeks, you really got to check per chemical. The imidacloprid, that had an absolutely massive harvest interval, so much so that it almost made it not a usable product. It has been banned since, by the way, but there are various other connotations of that product. It's by bravado, if you wanted to know that. So if you know that it's going to take 4 weeks to dissipate from the plant so that it's no longer a risk to other pollinating insects, then you've got to spray it that much earlier on in the year. And this is the problem: if it's still in the plant, then it can be in the pollen, it can be in the nectar. So when it's in flower, the bees, other pollinating insects, they can ingest that and then kill them. So you just got to be responsible when using pesticides. What's the next thing? Did I say that was the last one? Nope. This is the last one, and this one is quite disgusting. I really don't like it, even though it is arguably the prettiest of all the insects that are going to be eating your plant, and that is the scarlet lily beetle. So let's have a look at these lovely tree lilies. This is Lily Conchador, one of my favourite lilies. The flowers on it are absolutely gorgeous. They're massive. They've got this waxy kind of thick flowers and a gorgeous golden butter yellow colour. But the problem is, lilies, all lilies, and also other related families like your daylilies and alstroemeras, are all subject to attack from the scarlet lily beetle. But not mine, because I look after these and these are properly managed. It's as though I am some kind of horticultural genius. Anyway, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go elsewhere and have a look and see some other people's plants who are absolutely shocking because they are not doing what needs to be done. Let's go find out. The problem with the scarlet lily beetle is that it is a voracious breeder. The female beetles can produce up to 450 eggs. I'm not saying yours will be doing that, but not only do the adults take big chunks out of the foliage, the larvae, when they hatch, will also start to rip apart all the foliage. And although the adults are quite easy to see, they are a little bit tricky because you touch the plants and they'll react to it by falling off and landing on the floor upside down, and the underneath of these scarlet lily beetles is black, so they are very, very difficult to see. But the other thing, the thing that disgusts me, is the larvae. The bigger they get, the more they poop, and what they do in order to protect themselves from predators is cover themselves in their own poop. Absolutely disgusting, and they also stink, so keep your nose well away from those critters. So there are a few ways that you can manage your lily beetle. Arguably the easiest one is just to pick them off as you see them and dispose of them however you want to do that. You can spray with an insecticide. Be aware that you don't spray while these lilies are in flower, because then the active ingredient, the insecticide within those products, will be in the pollen. It will be in the nectar, and beneficial pollinating insects will then ingest that and kill themselves off. So always make sure that you don't spray. This is for everything. Don't spray when it's in flower. Alternatively, there's one good idea that I came across the other day, and that is to get a bowl of water. This is only really for container grown lilies. Put the pot in a bowl of water, tap the plant, everything falls off and floats on the surface, easy for you to take out. Or alternatively, plants in the ground, put a layer of paper or fabric on the bottom of on the ground below the plant, shake the plant, it will fall off, and you can collect them up on the fabric. So that is scarlet lily beetle, quite a nasty one. I think that's about it, unless I can think of something else. Well, if you enjoyed that, we've got plenty more videos for you to look at. Just have a quick search into our video library. Otherwise, you can tick on this one here, and if that's not your cup of tea, try that one there. Enjoy these while I've still got the energy to do them.